there, welcome to Subpar Stitches. My name is Hillary and this is my Flosstube channel. So it has been another 2 weeks since last I posted, and I have been on like a finishing streak these past 2 weeks. Like it was just like one finish after another. I was really on top of it. So I have some FFOs, a couple of FOs to show you. Not like a ton in the way of whips because everything that I worked on pretty much I finished. So we have a couple whips, and then I have a little bit of haul. That's about it. Yeah. And I guess plans, you know, the normal Flosstube layout, if you will. Before I get into that though, I just want to say right up top, because like not everybody watches, you know, the full thing. So I just want to say right up to the top, I got into StitchCon, which was very exciting because this will be my first one. And, you know, I was like on the edge of my seat the whole invoicing week because the ladies who were sending out the invoices, they ran into an issue with PayPal where it would only allow them to send, you know, X amount of invoices in a day. And so it wasn't like going through, like a lot of the ones they set up just didn't even go through. So they had like a whole mess to deal with. I felt so bad for them. It seemed really stressful. But because of that, it was going to take like 6 full days to invoice everybody out. So I just kind of was like on the edge of my seat, waiting. And I put in, because you can choose, you know, put me in weekend A, put me in weekend B, or put me in whatever weekend is open. And I just was like, put me in whatever weekend is open. I don't like know anybody who's going really, or like don't know anybody personally. And I can make either weekend work. And I just figured if I was as open as possible, it would like up my chances of going. But then I saw, it was like Cam the Stitcher, Marjorie Maid, like their whole squad. They all signed up for weekend A, and I was like, damn it. Like, I wish I had signed up for weekend A because, you know, they're like people that I want to meet and I think they're really cool. And then I got into weekend A and I was like, how serendipitous. I don't actually know if that's how you use that word. But I was like, yeah, so that's really cool. And I know Cam and Marjorie got in. I don't know who else in like their friend group is planning on going, but I'm excited to at least, you know, try and meet those two. But aside from that, I have no idea who's going. I don't know who's going to be there in, you know, like the Flosstube sphere. All I know is I'm driving down to Ohio for weekend A. So, if anybody wants to sit with me, I don't know where I'm going to sit. And I'm kind of freaked out about that. Like, I feel like, you know, like the first day of school, you go into lunchroom and you're like, where do I sit? So I'm sure it'll be nice, but it would be cool to sit with people who are, you know, either around my age group or they enjoy stitching on similarly weird stuff, I guess, because I don't want to be sitting with a bunch of people who they only stitch like maybe one style of thing. And I'm like over here with like all my weirdo stitches feeling kind of like out of place, you know? I'm sure it's not like that at all. I'm sure everybody's super nice and cool and whatever. It's just like, because I've never done this before, I'm a little scared. But if you've ever been to a retreat, definitely tell me your tips. What should I pack to bring to the stitchy room? Like, do I need to bring a light? Should I bring, what should I bring? What should I have? Also, if you have ever gone to StitchCon, let me know, like, how much money should I bring to spend? You know, I told my boyfriend, I was like really excited. And I was like, I got into StitchCon. And he's like, I don't know what that means. And I was like explaining it to him. And he goes, well, we better start saving then. And I was like, what do you mean? Like, you're not coming with me. Like, Ohio's like, it's like 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't know where, actually. Yeah, Keepsakes is a 4-hour drive from where I live. So like, I'm just going to drive down for the weekend, go by myself. You know, he doesn't have to come with me. There's really nothing exciting there for him, I'm sure. And so I was like, why do we need to save? What are you talking about? He's like, well, you need to go with a war chest so that you could buy all your yarn. He always calls it yarn. Like he confuses skein, bobbin, and yarn. Like to him, all 3 of those words mean the same thing. So he's like, are you having fun with your skeins? Are you having fun with your yarn? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I love it. But yeah, he's like ready to save up like an entire savings just so I can go shopping at Keepsakes, which is like so precious and sweet, and I love him for it. But I don't know, like what's a good amount to bring? I don't really know. I feel like whatever it is, I'll just double it and bring that. I'm like way too excited about this already, and it's not until next June. So I gotta dial it down a little bit. So anyways, let's get into my actual stitching for these past 2 weeks. So let's start with my FFOs and my FOs. I have 5. I finished 5 things in 2 weeks. Insane. I love that for me. The first project that I finished, I've been calling it Yummy Bakery because that's what my pattern says, but it has a different name if you want to buy it on Etsy. And I've already forgotten, I think it's like Sweet Bakery Sampler, Sweet Cream Bakery Sampler, and this is by Stitch Sprout. Now, I don't have it anymore because it was a gift for my brother's girlfriend, and for some reason, I initially thought her birthday's on October 22nd. It's not. It's on October 2nd. I threw another 2 in there for some reason. And so suddenly I was like, I have like 7 days to finish this. And so I powered through it. So here is where I was 2 weeks ago. And you can see that. And then obviously now it's finished. So here is some pictures. Here are some pictures of the finished product. I think it turned out really great. I waffle back and forth though on one thing. The words bakery across the top and then the open sign, I kind of wish I had swapped them out because I don't know if it's just a contrast on my fabric or something like that, but or maybe I'm just old, I don't know, but I can't really read them very well because they're just too light to contrast with each other. And I almost ripped them out and restitched them, but then I was like, it's fine. It's probably fine. And then after I took a step back, I was like, oh, actually, I can read those. So I don't know if it's just from staring at it too long or what, but I just love all the little motifs. I especially love the little honey bear, super cute. And the mixer kind of looks like my stand mixer because I have like the Tiffany blue one. Obviously, this one's teal, but still, it just reminds me of that. So I was really excited. I stitched this on 18 count Lagoon Aida, dyed by Fiber on a Whim, and it was a really soft, really pliable Aida. It almost felt thinner than regular Aida. I don't know what their dyeing process is, but it almost changed it a little bit. I bought a frame from Michaels. Now, usually, I took my boyfriend with me because he has a really good eye for design typically. This time, he was not. He was bumming it on this one. Because I was like, I need a square frame in these dimensions that will suit this design. And he kept bringing me like either frames that were way too big. And I'm like, I was like, Robert, the fabric's gonna be like the edges of the fabric are gonna show. And he's like, that's fine. And I was like, no, that's not how pictures work. And then he kept bringing me like floating picture frames, you know, where it's like fully glass and it like sandwiches the picture so you can see the whole picture like as if it's float. I was like, bro, you're not being helpful. And then I finally found these like kind of candy colored ones, and I chose a light blue one because I thought the blue on blue would look good. He wanted me to go with lime green, and I was like, on what planet would that look nice with this? So I went with my gut. I really liked it. I had to pass it to her through my brother because I wasn't able to see her, but she texted me. She said she really liked it. So I felt good because I was kind of nervous about that. But yeah, I just love all the little like cakes and stuff. It's really cute. And the 3 of the rolling pins have like dough on them. I love that too. I thought that was really cool. The next thing I finished was my little Mill Hill kit that I bought because I wanted to try my hand at beading, but I didn't want to start with a massive project in case I just absolutely hated it. And here's where I was last time. This is called Pet Spider, and it's so cute. Here it is. This is my FFO. So I loved the beading process. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going to be really tedious, and it is. It's tedious, but it's fun, and it just really made the whole project come together. I love his little pet spider. The only thing that I did not do on this that, you know, I feel like it was just a preference, but his eyes, you can see they're way more defined on the pattern. I thought they looked kind of creepy, like, and not in like a good way. And so I left his eyes just, I didn't backstitch or do the French knots on his eyes because I like the big blank holes. I think it's just much cuter that way. Every time I cut out canvas though, like this is like the paper canvas. I don't know if you can see right here. I like accidentally cut just a little too much off, but It's fine. It's not noticeable. The other thing is, like, I kind of hate the magnet. Like, here's the back. I was like, at this point, I was like, we'll just travel 2 inches. I don't care. I usually don't do that, but I was just like, it's fine. We'll survive. But this magnet, I don't think I did a very good job gluing it on. It's like a little bit wiggly. And also because this is perforated paper, you can see very flexible. So like when it magnetizes onto something, like pulling it off, I kind of feel like I'm bending it in a way that it shouldn't be. So it's kind of one of those where it's like, you want to stick it to something and then just walk away. Like, we're done. We're never touching it again. Literally, as soon as I finished this, I went on to 1-2-3 Stitch and I just searched Mill Hill and I went through every single kit and I was like, oh, add that one to the list, add that one to the list, add that one to the list. And I just put a huge amount of these just little Mill Hill kits on my wish list. I think that future ones I'll turn into like ornaments, just stick some felt or maybe some craft paper on the back and just have it as like some kind of ornamental piece. Cause I don't know, the magnet makes me nervous. I might even pull this magnet off and turn this one into an ornament yet. I don't know. I have these drawers where I store all my nail polish because I'm a nail polish collector. I just stick it on there for now because I think it looks cute there. But I want to just pick up a few to have in my stash. So if it's ever like, oh, I feel like starting something, but I don't want to be too crazy about it, I just have a little bitty kit. They're so small. Like their footprint is so itty bitty. Like this is how big it is. I really like that. And honestly, I feel like it's a really good kind of on the go project. Not the beading part, but like, you just have this little tiny thing you can stitch in hand. I love it. So those are all my FFOs. And then I have 3 FOs for you. So the first one that I finished was the Frimp. If you recall, the Furby shrimp. So here's where I was last time. I had, I think, 12 or 1300 stitches left on this. And I was like, all right, let's do it 2 or 3 days. I can bang that out, no problem. I was bringing it to work with me. I bring a project to work with on my lunch whenever I'm in office. And I had to keep this one kind of close to the chest. I was like holding my my project bag as I walked into another room because I was like, I don't want one of these guys to ask me about this and then have to explain it because like, I just can't explain it. I work in an office. I'm the only American who works in my office. Everyone else is from somewhere else, mostly Japanese. And so sometimes they want me to like explain stuff to them. And I'm just like, I can't explain this to you without sounding so weird. So, and this is one of those where I'm like, I can't explain this to you. It gives away too much about me. So that's where I was. And obviously here he is all finished. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. His little tuft of hair kills me. And okay, somewhere in this segment, I like was off by 1, so I had to fudge it, but like luckily because of this shading, it was an easy fudge. I feel like you can't really tell. I really like this project. I think it is so funny. This is a free one. I think it's from Night Spirit Studios, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check, and if it's not, I'll pop up on the screen. But it was a freebie, and what a wonderful freebie. I'm going to hoop frame it. My intention was to have this FFO'd, but here's what happened. So I bought a hoop to frame it in, and I was going to paint the hoop black and then paint little shrimps around the outside. And then I was going to seal it with Mod Podge and then do the hoop finish. Well, first of all, I realized I can't paint a tiny shrimp to save my life. And so then I had to repaint over all of the shrimps that I attempted to paint. And I was like, all right, we'll just go with the plain black hoop. And then I started to seal it with the Mod Podge. And then I was like reading about Mod Podge, and it was like, guess what, Hillary? It takes 4 weeks to fully cure. So now I gotta wait for this dang hoop to cure for like a month, and then I'll hoop frame it, I guess. And then I'll show you guys again in a month or so. If you have any good resources on how to hoop frame stuff, because mine have never looked all that great or cute. The back is the back. Nobody's gonna see it, but also I know it's there. So, oh, speaking of backs, here's mine. I don't know what a good back is supposed to look like. To me, like, for me, this is a good back. Like, this isn't too messy. It's pretty clean. Not a lot of traveling. I know it's very controversial to say that you think that a clean back is important, but I think a clean back is somewhat important. Especially on like linens and stuff like that, because I just feel like I'm worried of it like pulling or making a mess. And also I like that it lays flat, but I don't care if you have a messy back. I don't care about that. Like, you do whatever you want, do whatever suits your style. It's just, for me personally, I like to have a cleaner back. And to me, this is what a clean back looks like. I mean, I'm sure there are people who can do it much cleaner than me. In fact, I know there are. My next finish was another one I'm really excited about. I'm excited about all the finishes, like, whatever. I'm excited about being alive and living. Oh, by the way, this is just like 18 count black Ada. I think the maker is RTO. My next finish was the Antisocial Cryptid Club, and this is by the Witchy Stitcher, and here's where I was last time you saw it. And I really beasted this out over, actually, this was last weekend. I was like, all right, we're gonna do it. I want one more finish before I have to fill my next Flosstube. I got 2 more finishes, surprise, surprise. But, so I finished this, and here is what it looks like. I'm most obsessed with the Mothman. Look at his little antenna. I was like, as I was stitching it, I was like, I love him. This is on 40 count Newcastle linen in the colorway Murky by Picture This Plus. This cut of fabric, I just bought it on a whim because I was like, that looks so cool. And then I was like, Hillary, what are you going to do with such a tiny cut of fabric? Like, why did you buy that? And then I saw this pattern and I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do. It's so cute. I want to scream. And I had a, 40 count, first foray into 40 count. Very, very difficult at first. I think by the end, I finally had it. I needed a light for sure. Like, I had a little light, and that helped a lot. Here's the back in case you care. I don't know how to not travel for a lot of these like tinier little like star details. So I just traveled. I felt like the fabric was dark enough that you can't see through it. Now, my plan for this one, again, I wanted to have this FFO'd, but because I'm having an issue. So I want to turn this into like an ornament type finish, like a flat, like put it on a board, have some fabric around it, kind of a thing. And then I want to hang it on my office door because Antisocial Cryptid Club is the best name for my little office club. Like, I just think that would be cute. However, I feel like from some angles, you can definitely see, maybe you won't be able to see on camera, but I feel like I can still see hoop marks. I can see wrinkles. I tried ironing it, and I know you're not really supposed to get dyed fabrics. Like, you're not supposed to wash them. But the iron alone was not doing it. So then I tried to use the steam press function on my iron. That also did not work. So I was like, all right. And I used, my iron has like a water spray thing, and I was like, let's risk it. And I sprayed it down. I didn't like douse it, but I got it damp and I ironed it, and that seemed to help. But then when it all like fully dried, I feel like I can still just see a bit of a hoop mark. Is there any saving that? Like, can I get that out? How do I get that out? I feel like if I put it on the ornament, you probably won't be able to tell because I'll pull it taut, but it's like just for future reference, for future me, how do I prevent or how do I remove hoop marks from linen? Because it just seems like it's linen and just wrinkles so easily, and then it's just like, I'm gonna hold on to this wrinkle until I die. So, ow, I hurt myself. Yeah, I just really think this is so cute. I like the touches of on each end, there's like a little upside down cross, and then the T is also an upside down cross. I thought that was pretty cute. And then, oh, the Nightcrawler guy that looks like pants. I love him too. I mean, I love them all, but it's just like, they're just so fun. And I thought about making Mothman's eyes red, but I don't know. I like it kind of the monochromatic, and then like letting the murky fabric kind of speak for the piece. So I keep wanting to fold this, and I'm like, wait, Hillary, don't do that because it's gonna make problems for you later. Oh, I don't know if I said this at the beginning. I don't think I did, but if you're starting to see like a spooky theme, that's what I'm doing in October. I'm only spooking. I'm only stitching spooky or Halloween or fall adjacent stuff this month, just because I'm like, this is the month for that, and it's just like a vibe. I mean, if for some reason I'm like, oh, I feel like stitching Christmas, I'll just stitch Christmas. I don't care. But like for right now, all I want to stitch on is like fall, spooky, Halloween. Okay, my last FO is Enchanted Forest number 2 from Una Buena Piezza. And I finished number 1, like probably last month or the month before. I can't remember. I showed it on here. This is number 1. And it's a series of 3, and they're all in these, what are they called? Like bell jars, or is it a cloche? I don't know. And then there are ghosts, and like, it's just kind of like a little terrarium. So I finished this one a while ago. I moved on to the second one, and here's where I was before. I only had the wooden piece, the bottom of the cloche done. And then I was just like, kind of walked away. I don't know. I guess I got bored, but then it was like reinvigorated. And so in like 2 days, I think, maybe even 1, I finished this one, number 2. It's the smallest one. And so I do need to start the third one. It's the tallest one. And here's the deal. I have a like tri-folding frame, and I'm going to put all 3 of them in it, and it'll just look super cute. I replaced the ghosts with, they had like a very light blue color for the ghosts. I replaced it with that glow-in-the-dark DMC effects thread that they have. And looking at my ghosts, I see now there are some very distinct differences in them. So the first set I had here, I kind of struggled with them because I'd never used like a light effects before. And so some of the stitches are a little bit wonky. That's okay. It's a learning experience. Then I purchased that wax stuff. What is it? It's like thread. It's like the stuff where you run your thread through thread conditioner. And I found it much easier to stitch, but I also feel like I used less thread. I used a single strand, but I don't know, maybe I didn't separate it right in the first one, because like side by side, look at how much more sparse that ghost is. So either I need to pull out everything from these ghosts or everything from this ghost and restitch. I don't know what happened. Yeah, that's a reevaluation for another time. We'll see how the third one turns out, and then I'll decide which one I want to rip out. How about that? Yeah, so the third one is the tallest of the jars, so that one will take a little bit longer, but they stitch up so fast. I'm stitching these on 14 count black Aida. I just think it'll be a cute piece, especially with that trifold frame. I just thought, like, I got it stuck in my head. That was like, that's what I want to finish it as. And I like kind of searched a little bit online, and they looked so expensive, and I was like, I'm never going to find a frame that fits these and is within my price range. And then I just stumbled upon one at Michael's and was like, oh, well, we better buy that. So I got 2 of the 3 done. I plan on starting the third one this month. So those are all of my finishes. So now let's move on to the whips. So the first whip I have is my Wizard inventory, which I got a little behind on, but I knew I was going to get behind on because I had a friend coming to stay for like 5 days, and I wasn't going to be like stitching while she was here. And like the days before she came, I was also preparing. So I got like, there's like right now 2 motifs a week are being released, and I end up getting 5 motifs behind. But then there was a break week, and so I used that week to just like boom, catch up. I caught up. So here's what it looked like last time. And I think I've added like 5 motifs since you guys last saw it. So I haven't ironed it. I usually iron it before I do Flosstube because I want you guys to see it like not a mess. Like most projects I don't care about, but for some reason this one I iron after I finish the motifs. However, today 2 new motifs dropped, so I was like, I'm gonna re-crinkle it immediately. So I'll iron it next time. So here it is right now. This is excluding today, which is Friday. I'm filming today. Today's drop. So the last time either I had finished this or started it, I think I added the skull, this like looking glass, this itty bitty clover, which that one stitched up so fast, and then this sword, and then all of the dice on the side. And these, well, I think they're not called dice. They're called something else on the pattern. But these have like a long back stitch to give them some dimension. I am waiting until the end to do any extremely long back stitching. There's also some long back stitching that is going to go up here. And that's just because with the way that I hold this fabric, like I literally, I roll it and then I hold it like this in my hand. And this is how I stitch on it. Don't ask me why. I've never stitched on anything else like this in my life. For some reason, it's just this Aida is so stiff and I don't like putting it into a frame or anything like that. It's just annoying. So the last step is anything that has long back stitching like that, I will do at the very end. And there are some French knots that need to go on the lizard's eyes. But aside from that, I shouldn't have too much to finish once the last motifs drop. Today's motifs I'm super excited about. They go over, oops, let me just wrestle this fabric. They go over on this side and there's something on it. There's a little frog that's supposed to go here. And as soon as like I saw it, frog on the floor from 100 Gex just started playing on a loop in my mind. So it's been stuck in my head all day. And then right here, there's like a star chart, but it's like semi-folded. So there's like a lot of shading work that just, it's incredible that you can devise a pattern like this. Like, look at the shading in the skull. Like, it just looks so good. I am just thoroughly impressed by this pattern. Every single time a new element drops, I'm just like, oh my God, this looks so amazing. It's just crazy. It's like, these are like not, I don't want to say simple because like that sounds negative, but it's like, it's not like these are hyper realistic motifs. Like, we're not searching for intense realism. Like, it's a dragon, it's a unicorn, you know, like these aren't like hyper realistic, but the shading on them is so incredible that they just pop. I love it. So I'm gonna, tonight, after I'm done doing everything I need to do, because I've got videos to edit and I gotta read a book. I don't know. I gotta read that book. Once I finish all my other stuff, I'm gonna sit down and I think I'm gonna stitch the frog first, because the star chart I'm just so excited to do, and I like to save the best for last. In my life, that's just how I am. Like, when I'm eating, if I'm like reading, when I want to pick out a new book, like I just love saving the best one for the final. So I just feel like that star chart's going to be the fun part to stitch. So, but I also love the frog. I don't know how I want to display this when it's done. I thought about like making like a little like hanging scroll with it, but I don't know how to do that. So I got to figure that out. I think that would be cool though. Just like a tapestry type thing, you know what I mean? I think that would be kind of cool, and just put like a wooden dowel on either end. Might be nice. Be an easy finish, right? Oh, and I guess since I'm showing the back of everything else, here's the back. I don't know why today I just decided I'm going to show you the backs of everything, but yeah, here you go. And I keep this in my little Barney craft bag because I don't have like a dedicated bag for this. I don't know. I have enough. I just don't have one. Because basically what I do is I go to my DMC chest with my little Barney bag and I grab all the threads that I need for those motifs and I throw them in the bag, and then once they're done I just put them back in the chest. So the next thing I worked on was Nostalgic Ouija from the Witchy Stitcher. And so here's where I was before. I didn't get like crazy far. I only worked on this for like 45 minutes to an hour on my lunch break, and then I realized that I was like, I planned to stitch something else. Why did I bring this to lunch? So I plan on working on this one more in this month, but here's where I am right now. I added this word here. Yes, I added a couple of these like little pieces. I started the dolphin here. And this is going to be, you know, I think it's going to be fairly large. This is 14 count black Aida. I wanted it to be chunkier because I want to turn it into like a mat that I can just like lay out on a table and display. And I'm going to make the planchette too. And the colors are so pretty. And this was a Patreon exclusive pattern, but I believe they just released it in their store. So if you've been dying to stitch this, if you were like, oh my gosh, I love everything about it, I think you can buy it now. So check that out if you are interested. I am really looking forward to start to put like the letters in, because it's just this big rainbow pastel-y gradient. So it's going to be so cute. And then last night I did end up starting something new. I was going to start this next week, but then I was like, well, Hillary, you deserve it. You finished 5 things. And so this is by Ink Circles, and it's called Assembly Required. Here is the picture card that comes in the pattern. I bought this, what is it called, the fall one? It's not Market, right? It's something else. I can't remember. But this was released at whatever the most recent like pattern thing was. And it's monochromatic, but it's literally just DMC 4072. And the way that it's called for, they use 2 strands of 4072 over 2 threads of linen, and they stitch theirs on a 30 count Dolphin by Weeks Dye Works. So I was like, I don't want to buy that. I mean, I wanted to buy the variegated thread because, like, to me, I was just like, man, not enough patterns make use of like DMC colorus and variations and all that. And I really wanted to, I have some and I want to try them out. And it's like, I know I could sub them in myself, but I want somebody else to do the work for me, you know? So I had dyed some 18 count Ada with some teal Rit dye. And here's what that ended up looking like. And I decided to start it on this because I was like, oh, this close enough to this. No, this is way lighter. So I don't know if this is actually working or not. I feel like it is now, today, that I've taken a step back from it. But yesterday, when I started this last night, I was kind of nervous. And now I'm going to stop talking about it and just show you. I turned the lighting down because I felt like it was blowing out those lighter colors. I don't know, maybe I can take a picture and better capture it. The lighter area of the variegation is kind of washed out on the camera. I do think in real life I can see it. Wow. Can you see it now? Maybe not. I feel like I don't know. I decided to go one strand over one on this because it's 18 count. And I know on 18 and 36, a lot of people do one strand. I've never done one strand on 18 count Ada, but I had a feeling that because I dyed this, a lot of times when you dye stuff, it seems to shrink the fabric just a hair. And so I thought I could get away with one, and stitching one strand with a variegated floss is so much easier than trying to match up the two and having it get a little wonky, in my opinion. And I love how petite the stitches look. So I'm excited. I want to keep going with it. It's a quick stitch so far. I mean, I did this in like one short sitting, and that's like, you know, all this right here. So it's pretty good. I was like, let me check out what else Ink Circles has, because I really liked this pattern. I really liked, you know, Assembly Required. And then I saw Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Hello from Liz Matthews. They had gone on a girls' trip together to the attic, and they both got this like cactus arrangement or something like that by Ink Circles. And I was like, oh, that looks a lot like Assembly Required, where it's like kind of one type of motif, one theme of motif, just arranged in a small kind of space. And I was like, I wonder if they do more patterns like that, because I guess I wanted to do, because I thought the cactus one was really cute. And so I went on their website and I was like, none of these look like anything like this or the cactuses. And then I found this section called arrangements, and they have a whole series of patterns that are just like this, where it's like they take a theme or like one type of motif. Like I think they had a mushroom one, but they had this one and it was fishing lures. And my dad is a big fisherman. He just retired. And so now I'm pretty sure all he's going to do is fish. He was wearing, my mom sent me this really cute picture. He was asleep in his chair and he had a hoodie on, and like the hood is covering to here. And so all you can see is his like nose and his mustache. And it just says, oh, officially retired on his hoodie, like fish, you know, get it? It's so funny. Yeah, so I was like, I kind of want to make that for him. So I bookmarked that page because I got a lot going on. I got too many things. So that's like a project for later, but they're so small, like not in a bad way. It's 87 by 57 stitches. And it, like I said, it just stitches up really quick, and it's just a fun little project. Like Liz, Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch and Liz Matthews, they both seemed to stitch up their cactus one really quick. And granted, they only did about half of it because they made it into a little square, but still, like, I think they both did it in like a week, or one of them did at least. So yeah, this is one I'm going to work on more next week. I think I'm going to take this to work with me. Hopefully it turns out. I think that The part I'm most excited for is the skull, and like, let me just take it right back out of there. Why did I put it away when I'm not even done talking about it? The skull and the rib cage, for some reason, I'm excited to stitch. But these like longer bones are really easy to stitch with the variations because it really looks like just like a supernatural variegation. This color was perfect, just the perfect choice for old bone. And I love it. So that's everything that I stitched on. And then I do have some haul here. So the first thing that I got was my Bestitch Me clubs, and I have, what am I in? I get Lugana, 32 count. I don't know why I chose that. I feel like I should be getting 36 count. Actually though, this looks so itty bitty. Maybe it's good that I'm getting. Anyways, the color is Paranormal. So I already put it on my card here, but look at that. I'm not going to take it off because I just put it on yesterday and it's just like a hassle. But like, this is really, really pretty. It's like a deep, spooky rainbow. I really love the fabric this month. Like last month's was fine, but like I like this one so much more. And then I'm not sure how I'm feeling about the silks. I'm a part of their silk club as well. I'm just not a huge fan of these colorways. They feel one feels super Thanksgiving to me, and then the other one feels like spring. So it's just one of those, I gotta figure out how I want to use them. So this one is it Mabon? And this one to me is very like Thanksgiving or like very muted Halloween, I guess. It's like a green, a reddy orange, and purple. So maybe I could use this for some actually, the more I look at it, the more I'm like, I could use that for Halloween. And then there's Oak, and this one to me is like, this one screams spring because it's like just a dusty rose and like a light dusty green. So I'm going to put them with my other silks and figure out how I want to use them, because right now I'm just kind of in the silk club. I don't know what I want to do with them yet. These are 25 yards each, so I feel like I could do something pretty substantial with them. I'm not sure though. We'll see. Okay, the other thing I ordered, it's not here yet. I saw that Lola Crow is doing a sal, and it's like, what is it called? It's the Creepy Christmas Village Ornament Stitch Along. So I was like, well, I've been doing really well on my Wizard one, and I just figure this one starts around the time that one ends. So why not? So this one starts on November 3rd, and there are 6 ornaments to stitch, and they are, what is it? It says that they are round, and they're 52 stitches in diameter, and between 40 and 70% coverage. So I figured they won't be too crazy, and it's like, you get like ornament 1, ornament 2, week off, ornament 3, ornament 4, week off, ornament 5, ornament 6. So it's like 8 weeks in total. And I don't know, it seemed like fun. And then I ordered from the Fox and Rabbit the corresponding fabric, because I was like, I don't want to wait and see what they look like and then decide. I'm like, you just tell me what to get and I'll get it. So I ordered the Fox and Rabbit fabric, and it's in like elephant run, and I got it in 36 count linen, I believe. And so you just cut it into 6 equal pieces and then stitch your ornaments, and then I don't know if it's going to include finishing instructions or you can do whatever you want, but I'm excited. I think it'll be really cute. And it really played into my desire, which I don't think I talked to you guys about this yet, but I was watching Chris Cross Stitch, and he was talking about how he wants to make a, not like, this is like a thing that you build up to, but a Christmas tree that is just all cross stitch ornaments. And I was like, I want to do that. What? Like, excuse me. So, because I'm already doing a set of 6 from Owl Force Embroidery. And so I was like, well, that's a start. I have another one that I want to start next month. And then I'll have these, and I'll just keep going. I'll just never, ever stop cross-stitching ornaments, because they're just fun little projects, and they're like an easy win. Like, sometimes you just want to finish something, So that's what I'm going to do. And this played right into my hand. So I believe that my fabric either shipped today or I got notified today that it was done. I can't remember which, because I barely read that email. I was just like, cool, whatever, bye. So I'm going to start those, when the sale starts. And what else did I buy? Oh, obviously I paid for my StitchCon ticket because I'm so excited. And then I got some Etsy patterns. Okay, let's talk about that. Let me open up my Etsy really quick. So I bought a couple like just smaller cheap patterns. I got this one from Mama Witch Cross Stitch called Pizza Buddy, and it's these little ghosts and they're sharing pizza. It's so cute. I'm a sucker for cute ghosts. I don't know what it is. And it reminds me of when me and my boyfriend sit on the floor and eat pizza because we don't have a dining table, even though we're in our 30s and we just eat on the floor like monsters. So yeah, when I have people over, I'm like, yeah, so we're gonna eat on the floor. Yeah, so I got that. And I also got Mothman from the Retro Stitcher. And there's like two versions of it. So there's this version here, and then there's a glitch version, which on a lot of cross stitch pages, I do see people posting like a trigger warning when they're going to post glitch art. I don't know if it like triggers seizures or if it's something else, but I don't want to like pop it up and like risk that. So I'm just going to tell you that it comes with a glitchy version. And if you're interested, you can go check it out yourself. I don't want to like do something to somebody that is like bad. So like, just know there's a glitchy version of this. But I love the Mothman. I'm just like obsessed with him lately. So I got that. It seems like a fairly quick stitch. And then Etsy was doing that darn thing where they're like, here's $10 that you can take off of $40. And I was like, well, now I'm going to buy $40 worth of patterns for $30. So that's what I did. So again, Mama Witch Cross Stitch, she had a cute ghost. And it's this ghost sitting on the toilet on his phone. And I don't know, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. It was only 67 cents. Like, I don't know, I just needed it. And then Sewing Starfish, they're the one that's putting on the Wizard inventory stitch. I was like, I want more of their patterns. So I got this, it's called Skeleton Used as a Xylophone. And it says, there should be something on my organ donor card that says, I want my skeleton used as a xylophone after I'm dead. Just fun. I love that. And it's very colorful, but in like a very like kid kind of a way. From Night Spirit Studio, I got Tooth Fairy in antique lace. Now I have plans for this one and they're weird. So if you don't like weird shit, I don't know, you wouldn't be watching me. So I got my wisdom teeth removed like last year or earlier this year. I can't remember. I was devastated about it because I did not want them removed. Now I have these gaping hole spaces in the back of my mouth. And I'm just like, I want my wisdom teeth back. Give them back. They weren't even growing in. So I don't know why they wanted to take them out. Like they weren't visible. I felt robbed. So I was like, you have to give me those. I made them give me my teeth. They were like, if you want them. And now my boyfriend finally has health insurance for the first time in like 10 years. Went to the dentist. He also has to get his wisdom teeth removed. And I was like, can I have them? And he was like, are you going to do something weird with them? And I was like, obviously. And he was like, you have to tell me what it is before I give them to you. So I was like, I saw this tooth cross stitch and I want to I want to stitch it up and then I want to tie our teeth to it and it'll be so romantic. And he was like, that's so fucking strange. But he told me I can have his teeth. So I bought the tooth cross stitch. And then, and this is, I'm pretty sure this is Owl Forest, right? Chouette de Forêt. Yeah, I think that's Owl Forest. And this is Solyanka, and it is like a meat market type, like a butchery. It's really, really cool. I just really love the colors. I love the designs from this designer. I don't know. I wanted to stitch the meat, I just was like, I want to stitch that meat. And so I got that. That was the most expensive one. That one ended up being like $15. And then obviously I had meat on the brain because I got this one from Stitching with Zeal, and it's Gabagool, and it's a ghost, and he's saying bada bing, and it just says Gabagool underneath of it, and it's got meat around him. I loved it. I died. And finally, I got from Rebel Italy, the Yeti cross-stitch pattern. It says, in the end, the Yeti is going to eat us all. This is from like that 90s PC game where you had to like ski down the slope and then the Yeti would eat you. And as a kid, it scared me so much. Every time the Yeti came out and he ate you. And I was like, ah, and so I don't know if I'm going to stitch the words, but I definitely want to stitch the Yeti eating the skier. So I got that. And that's all the stuff I bought. And after this month, I'm definitely going to try and relax on buying stuff because I got to save for StitchCon. So that's all of the stitching stuff. I just have like a little bit of book talk if you guys are interested. So not too much. And like plans is just continue to stitch on the spooky stuff. But yeah, so as far, well, I should say, if you don't want to stick around for book talk, that's fine. Thank you for watching and checking out my stitching. And I look forward to reading your comments below. I'm always excited to see, you know, other people passionate about cross stitching. But if you're staying with me for book talk, like, let's go, let's do it. So I read Radium Girls, and by read, I mean, I read a little bit of it and then I put the audiobook on 1.5 speed. I don't like audiobooks. I don't like being read to. It's just like a weird, uncomfortable thing for me. The book was fine. I have a hard time reading nonfiction. I don't know why. I just can't stay, I need more time than the library allows. Usually I'm a very quick reader, but when it comes to nonfiction, you have to like remember so many facts and I just can't, my brain isn't like that. But it was fine. I didn't like that the author, she put a lot of like weight on how these girls who basically got maimed by radium, she was like, they were so beautiful and they looked like this and they looked like that. And I'm just like, why does it, like, who cares if they were beautiful or not? Like, the government fucking killed them. You know what I mean? Like, sorry, but like, I just like nobody listened to these women and when they were like, there is a problem. Who cares if they were beautiful? It doesn't matter. They died. Like, I just think that when people try to emphasize how beautiful, like, a victim of a crime or an instance is, I'm like, why does that matter? Would it have been less sad if they were ugly? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal hang up, but it was fine. It was a fine book. I did learn quite a bit just about like how much this helped with regulations in the United States and stuff like that. So that was pretty interesting. And then I finally started the second ACOTAR book, the Court of Thorns and Roses. What is this, like Mist and Fury? I'm not like obsessed with these books. Everybody is, and so I'm like, I want to be a part of this, but I just am like, I don't know. The second book, I'm about 100 and something pages into it, and I just feel like Tamlin sucks. That's just my vibe. I don't know if his name is Rysand or Rysand or Reese or Rice. I don't know how you say it. He just seems better in every way, and I'm sure I'll eat my words later, but I don't know. I just feel like he's the hotter, cooler, nicer elf thing. Whatever they are. I don't know. Clearly, I'm like, whatever. This is just not my usual genre. I don't like fantasy that much. I love the Lord of the Rings movies. Love the Hobbit movies. Cannot read fantasy to save my life. If there's a map in your book, I will not read it. Like, that's really all. And even if it's not fantasy and you put a map in your book, I don't want anything to do with it. Don't bring maps into this. I don't know what way north is, all right? Don't expect me to read the map, okay? After this, though, I have a book at the library. I gotta go to the library and pick that book up. So, yeah. I can't remember what it is. Like The Wife Upstairs. I heard that was good, so I'll check that out. It looked like a quick read. But yeah, that's it. I really, like I said, I didn't have much for book talk because I'm only like a fifth of the way into the second book. I'll probably read the third one and then be done because I think that, isn't it like a trilogy and then the rest of the books are just kind of like an expansion of the universe? I don't know if I'm interested in all that. I just want to finish this trilogy. I'll finish the trilogy and then I'll read all the rest of them, knowing myself. But yeah. Anyways, let me know who's your favorite elven boy and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye! Wait, they're fairies, aren't they? They're not elves, they're fairies. Do you see how much I don't know about anything? Let me know who your favorite fairy boy is, and then I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.